Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about RGB fans. Now I know this might be like something really cool that you want to find out, or something that you don't care so much for. RGB and the PC community is kind of torn between two camps. Those of us that really like it, and those of us that absolutely hate it. Now, I'm more of a case-by-case person, so depending on what your build is and your aesthetics, sometimes I think the minimalistic approach of having not a whole lot of RGB versus going, full rainbow vomit, I'm torn between what I actually want out of the build. So I can see the point on both sides of the fence of, hey, I like RGB or I don't. Now, in the case of RGB fans, that's probably the largest saturation in the market other than like RGB strips themselves. And RGB fans can be had from almost any manufacturer. A lot of no-name companies and a lot of big companies make some sort of RGB fan. And the general consensus is when you get an RGB fan, like, they're expensive. So it behooves some manufacturers to provide an RGB fan that doesn't quite break the bank. And what we got here is some 120 millimeter fans from Asiahorse. Now, I don't know if you've heard of them or not, but they asked me if I could review some of their RGB fans on the channel that they've come up with. I know they've been talked about on some other channels. I think Paul's Hardware and Bitlit have mentioned Asiahorse. This is my first time actually dealing with them. And needless to say, I think they did a pretty good job. They sent me 2 boxes. One I wound up using already in my wife's build to kind of test out and get myself familiarized with the components inside and how they actually work. Now I really like these ones. They sent me 2 white sets. And so the set we have here are this set of 120 millimeter fans. And the build quality is actually really good. I wasn't sure about the whole specifications. I'm about to like double check what the speeds are, and if these are, I don't think these are static pressure fans, but they're pretty heavy, they're pretty solid. They're kind of reminiscent a little bit of a Corsair design. It's not like quite like a Corsair design, but they do have some rubber pads for dampening. The bearing seems pretty solid. They move quite a bit of air, and they're not that loud. They only have one connection coming off the fan, so it's not like a power and RGB header. It actually has just one connection coming off the fan that connects to an RGB controller. Now it has up to 10 fans. So it looks like you can put up to 10 fans in succession. So you have 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Whoops. So on the front side or back side, if you want to call it, you have 3 more connections. You have one for your PWM connection. That's going to connect to one of the fan headers on your motherboard or a fan header in your case. You have one for the power, which is SATA, and then you have one for ARGB. It's a 5-volt header. So if you don't have an ARGB header, you can use a remote to change all the colors. There's all sorts of detemp positions you can control. Now, which is actually the neat part, you control the fan speed, you control the color mode, the direction. You can just do regular red, green, or blue. So the remote is pretty basic. You have 3 fan speeds, kind of like a low, medium, high, if you want to control the speeds of the fans. And then so far as messing with the color modes, it'll be like either direction of the lights, whether they'll go like around this direction. They have like the regular effects like static, breathing, rainbow, pulse, I think temperature, and anything else, as long as you're using the ARGB header. If you're just using the remote, the effects are slightly limited. You get solid colors and any detint effect that comes with the fan itself. The build quality is okay so far for the header. I think I hear parts moving around inside, so it kind of reminds me of Corsair's hub. It's not a rip-off or anything, it's just pretty basic. But if you're like stuffing this somewhere in your case, then I don't think it matters that much. Like I said before, I do appreciate that one, it's SATA powered, not Molex, so coming up in the world. And then everything else is detachable. So if you don't have an ARGB header, you don't have to connect this wire, so there's nothing more for you to fold up and tuck out of the way. You just don't have to plug it into the little control module if you're not using it. Having PWM is great. That means it gives you more control over the fans, and you can use whatever software or the BIOS if you want to control the speeds of the fans. Now, since these are white fans that they sent over, I decided to do a white build to go ahead and showcase these fans. The prices of the fans, the 2 different models they sent are going to be in the links in the description below. So I'll go let you know where you can purchase these. I think the last time I saw them, they were like $32 to $37 for 5 fans. That means you can get like 10 fans for like 60 bucks. That's not bad compared to some of the higher end fans that you would get, like maybe from like Thermaltake or Corsair or who's another good one? NZXT. I know those fans are like pretty pricey, and you know, rightfully so. They've earned the reputation and they've earned your trust and the build quality and innovation that provided. But you know, these are really good. They're hefty. They don't feel cheap. I think they're very well put together. You gotta get on like a little cheesy sticker on the front, but you know, most manufacturers have been doing that for a while. Anyways, you have a ring in the front and a ring in the rear for LED illumination, and then some on the sides. So we have a lot of tempered glass panels in your case. You should be able to see the LEDs from quite a few angles and to give you that nice shine. So the video is gonna be pretty short. Now that we've gone over the fans, we're actually gonna utilize these and put these to use and show you exactly what they can do. Needless to say, my wife was really happy with the other set. The other set is more square. They have some like crystallized accents on the side that LEDs run through, and I'll throw in some B-roll footage of that on her case so you can see the implementation of both sets of fans to see kind of what they would look like in the system. The system I'm building is a little mismatch of some high-end components versus some cheap components to really showcase that you can stick these fans in anything and they'll look real nice. Like I said before, I'm really impressed. I like the fact that these do come in black, so you don't have to worry about just like purchasing white fans, but they do have these fans in black, and that like overall this is a good budget option. I am looking forward to seeing what else Asiahorse has to do. As a matter of fact, for the build that I'm using, I did purchase some of their sleeve cables to go ahead and put in the build, so it's going to be like an all white build for the most part. You know, not everything's white, but most of the components are white. enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the montage. It was pretty fun putting that build together and showcasing these great fans from Asiahorse. I'll also let you know they do come in, I believe, 140mm variants. I have to double check if it is. I'll definitely put that down in the description and link that to Amazon where you can pick these up. Like I said before, these are great if you're looking to add a little more customization to your build and you don't want it to cost a whole ton of money. Asiahorse is a really good option to go ahead and pick up. I was not let down. I already told you guys what my concerns are with the implementation of this product, and you know, whether they fix it or not, I don't believe it's a deal breaker. So to me, I'm satisfied just fine with the product that they put on the market. But if you guys want to pick these up, I highly suggest it. So if you guys want your dollar to kind of stretch and go a little bit further, so far as the RGB fan implementation, then I will go ahead and pick up some Asiahorse fans. They'll be listed on Amazon, and like I said, I'll put those links down there for you guys below. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs down. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you guys like what you see here on the channel. And like always, guys, be awesome, be heavy. We'll see you on the next one.